Welcome to Sandwich Seniority. My name is Robbie Haig. I'm your host. And today I am talking with two ladies who have a new startup company. The name of it is Positive Effects. The owner and president is Patricia Welch, and the vice president is Cheryl Probasco. Welcome to you both. It's so nice to have you here at Seniority.
Thank you for having us.
So this is quite a unique thing that you've begun.
Yes, it is. It's a company that was founded in 2012, just this past May, and it's it is a new startup company. So we're small, but we're working on growing and branching out to a larger community. We are based in Plymouth, and we want to remain on the South Shore, but also not just be in Plymouth. We, right now our goals are to be anywhere from Cape Cod all the way up to Quincy.
Wonderful. That's quite a distance. That's wonderful.
So what we do basically is we provide a service within each home or apartment building, condos, or businesses as well, because we're branching into businesses. What we do is we supply a receptacle that goes in each individual's home, and it is for food scraps. We actually are working on trying to help 18 to 20% of what what goes in the landfill to be removed.
Wonderful.
It's a really good, eco-friendly, well-rounded company. So we're a recycling company, but at the same time, our main goals are to be feeding those in need and to be employing people that are unemployed. So what we do is we pick up the food scraps, we deliver them to local farms. They are composted out. We create a compost that turns around and then grows produce that's 2 to 3 times larger than regular produce. It's all organic.
Wonderful.
Then we turn around and that is given to food pantries, shelters, to try to do our best to reach people in need.
Sure.
And in this economy—
What a great idea.
Right. In this economy, 2012, it's, everybody is really robbing Peter to pay Paul, kind of, just making sure that they have food. I mean, a lot of people are choosing between medication and food these days.
That is very true.
Or do we pay a bill, or do we buy some groceries? Right. And that's what we're really about. So it's an eco-friendly program that is, mainly due to the economy trying to feed people but remove things from the landfill, reducing their carbon footprint, just trying to make things better for everybody in the long run. It's totally unique.
When I was a kid, we had a pig, and we kids went around the neighborhood to get food scraps for the pig. I have never heard of it being done for any other reason. Have you?
Well, a lot of people do, composting, and that's great, but it's not all of what we're about. It is a piece of what we do. Yes. But our ultimate goal is to make sure that we're raising money and feeding those people right now in this economy that are in need. And there's so many people.
How did you ever get into this, Patricia?
A lot of thought, a lot of time. I love to garden.
Oh, good.
So that's how I went about trying to make sure that it's something that could be done everywhere.
Good.
Affect everyone in the long run. Those that don't need food and produce, those that are well off can participate in it. So it still affects everybody.
Very good.
Because they can help others in their community that are in need. And that's really what it's all about.
So you have people from the community who help in the gardening also?
Not in the gardening process. Like I said, it's delivered to local farms. Those farmers are very, very good at what they do. We don't really want to become farmers. But they grow the produce. They do all of that for us. Again, we're still fairly new, and we only started in May. So the predominant amount of our farming stuff will be done in the spring.
Sure.
Right now we're doing the building up of the compost. So that's going to be something that's done every spring, every summer, through the fall, to turn around and do our best to try to be able to provide produce to people that need it. In shelters and pantries, places like that, very rarely do they ever get fresh stuff, let alone organic. Let alone organic stuff. And that's really our goal. Trying to make sure that we're feeding people.
I also worked with the food pantry, and you're correct. Fresh fruit and vegetables are just almost not existent.
Right.
So how did you ever get involved with this?
Well, Patricia and I are good friends, and she came over and she asked me what I thought about it. And I went, I love it. I'm on board right now. I said, I've always wondered what I can do to help. And I said, but I'm one person, and how can I make a difference? And so she laughed because I said, my motto now is 1 + 1 + 1. We can make a difference if everybody works together.
Absolutely.
So I was thrilled to death when she told me about it, and I said, right now, I'm on.
Very good.
Let me have my receptacle.
Well, it looks like you made a good choice, Cheryl.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Now tell us too about the receptacles. What do you give the receptacle to each of the people?
They go into each place, whether it's a business, a house, a condo, an apartment. They are very, very simple. It's a very simple white 5-gallon bucket.
Okay.
But what is good about it is one, it's something everybody can relate to, right? Everybody knows what those are, but it's a very high-tech lid that goes on it. There's double gaskets. It is airproof. It is odor-proof. Okay. You will not smell anything that is in it, regardless of how long it stays in it.
Oh,
so it's one of those things that no matter what you put in there, you're not going to smell it. So most people turn around, they keep it in their kitchen. Once a week, we provide a pickup service. One of our drivers will come to the home. He's just set it outside your door or curbside, depending on where you are. And we turn around and we pick it up on a scheduled day. It's really about giving back into the community. And if you can do that and be eco-friendly and teach children in your home, the next generation really is what this is about. This is about making sure that they understand that it should not be a throwaway society, and that's what we have right now. It's about turning around and composting something that is really just one of those products that's easily taken care of. But in a landfill, it smells, it rots, and yet when it's mixed with all the other stuff, it really doesn't compost. This stuff turns around, makes a beautiful composted black soil. We call it black gold.
Very good.
So it works very, very well.
So you've had to do a lot of background work to get the containers. And,
correct.
And
correct. Yeah, the company in development, again, we're still partially in development in many ways, but we started in May, and it probably took 1 to 2 months or so to really get all of the fine-tuning done as to how are we going to do it.
We've come so far.
Wow,
in such a short amount of time. Yeah. And it's about, putting back into the earth what we have taken out.
Correct.
And teaching the children now that we need to help one another and help save the earth. So we look at it as leaving behind positive effects.
Very good. I like your name. The name is just fantastic.
Thank you. Well, we took an awful lot of time trying to figure out what is it that we want for a name, because we really wanted something that reflects our goal. We wanted to have a positive effect on the community, and that's how we came up with it.
And it's very much like the early American way of doing things, you know.
Right, as they say, and recycling, absolutely.
Recycling, and don't take anything more than what you need.
We're only 1 or 2 generations. We're only 1 or 2 generations away from people that did it all the time, regularly. So really, we're doing our best to try to help others get back to that, because it is needed at this point in time. You know, we've drained so many nutrients from the soil that things just aren't growing the way they should. But not only that, finding a way beyond that to help feed people in tough economic times.
But it's interesting too that not too far back, I do remember when they would let the land lie fallow for a while, just so that it could recoup.
It could recoup, yes.
Yeah.
But
we don't have to do that.
This is one of those things that you don't need to do that. When we bury the food waste, we do it about 1 foot below the soil. You don't have to do it 2 to 3 feet high. You know, a lot of people do that and they have to turn it, they have to water it, they have to do all of that and expose it to heat. We do not. Because we only do it 8 or so inches deep. We do it 1 foot below the topsoil itself that we use. We're covering it with organic soil that is loaded with worms and, you know, the actual little critters that do the, you know, the work for us. So it's done within 1 to 2 months.
So you have given this a lot of thought.
I have, and it's, you know, it was done it's done in 1 to 2 months time, instead of, Yeah,
Wow.
instead of it taking, you know, a whole season for it to be done.
You could certainly teach me a great deal. I've had a compost bin for 15 years and I've never turned it over. I just keep, you know,
Right.
it goes into nothingness, but I don't know where it
But
goes.
it does take quite some time to actually do it
yes,
if you're just
sure.
constantly adding a large amount to it. You know, a lot of people include all their lawn waste and things like that. And people have said to us, well, they can get the compost at the dumps and different things like that, and you can. But the problem with all of that is when they turn around and they're adding all the yard waste, you also get all the chemicals that went on your lawn and all of that as well. This stuff,
Point well
100%
taken.
organic. It can be turned right back into your vegetable gardens.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
you're not getting all of those chemicals into the food that you're now ingesting.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you've just begun.
Yes, May
You
of
have some
2012.
people who are actually signed on with you.
Yes.
And
They love it. People keep saying, okay, you know, can I refer people over to it? And we say, absolutely, yes, you can. And not only when you do that, we'll turn around and give you a week free on your service, as well as whoever you refer to us.
Oh.
Because that way it gives them a
Isn't
week
that
to try
good?
it for free.
Sure.
You know, and we want everybody to be able to participate. It isn't just about, you know, paying for the service. It's about letting them be able to participate in a company that gives back to the community itself. And that's really what we want.
Wow.
We've actually had farmers too, people that have done a lot of gardening, that have contacted us with an abundance, and they said, well, next year, would you guys take it? And we're like, absolutely. You know, and then we can turn
Wonderful.
around and give it to our connections with the soup kitchens and the shelters. So it's a way for
Oh.
gardeners to help too that have way too much.
Right.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So you are connected with soup kitchens.
We are. Soup kitchens,
Wow.
some of the community kitchens in the area, also Middleborough, Plymouth, there's several that we're working with, but as we grow, the more places that we go to, we want to get into more of those places in those towns.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have put a great deal of thought into it in a short period of time.
I have, but it's a well-rounded program.
But now you understand when she came to me how I couldn't say no.
I
With all of
certainly
these
do.
positive things, it's like, how can I say no? Absolutely, I want to be a part of this.
Of course.
You know.
And the people that I've picked for this, and we're still in the process of picking people as well, you know, we are hiring. So the people that I've picked for this company, really, it's about their heart for the community. And that's one of the things that I saw in Cheryl. She really does have a heart. And
Excellent.
really want to be able to not just work in a company that does something, but work in a company that does something for the community itself.
Sure.
You know.
In this time, there are not a great deal of people who are working at something they want to work at.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of people,
So-
unfortunately, are miserable going to work and they're
That is
doing the 9 to
correct.
5 thing, and I totally understand all of that.
Sure.
But it's really, really great to participate in a company that you not only enjoy, but is doing something,
Sure.
you know, good for the community.
And I basically
thing.
work with people who have retired and left their job behind them and have started something new and wonderful that they are so very, very happy with. So it's nice for you to be able to do it, you know.
Right. Well,
Absolutely.
I've heard so many stories from people that have been in very high corporate jobs, making triple digits, but then they turn around and for one reason or another, the company downsizes or
Right.
they close,
Right.
and now they're starting to work with us. And even though they're not making that kind of money anymore, because we certainly can't afford that,
But it's not
it's not about that. It's about doing something better than that.
Positive.
And they're all saying the same thing to us, that, you know, they've been out of work for anywhere from 6 months to 2 years.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it. They're all college graduates, and they don't understand why in this economy they
Right.
can't find a job. It's just crazy. But it's
and the
just one of
college
those-
fees keep going up.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
do, they
And
do. But
there's-
these are people that have been, you know, in the workforce for 20 some odd years
Right.
and had college prior to that. They can't find jobs.
Right. Right.
So, you know, we're just really looking for people that have a heart for the community, and those are the ones that we work with,
Wow.
because that's what we're about.
Sure.
You know?
So you need to give us your phone number.
Absolutely. It is 774-678-1611.
Okay. And do you have a
Website?
Website?
Yes, it's www.positiveeffectsllc.com.
Okay. And we can go on the website and find out
Absolutely.
more
You
about
can find out quite a bit about it. We have several outreach programs on there that people can look at. We're also hiring, so we have an employment section on there as well.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
And you said that you go to other programs to present this. Where would you go?
We've done farmers markets.
Okay.
Plymouth had a big waterfront festival.
Yes.
We did that. It was able to come into a lot of contact with people during that festival. And it was one of those that was an all-day thing.
Yep.
But it was also one that when we got done with it, you were energized because you were talking to people and you saw people's hearts and they'd say, oh my gosh, I just love this idea. How did you come up with it? And it's like, well, Patricia's the one that came up with it, but it's kind of like, we look at it as win-win for everybody.
Right.
It's a win for the company, it's a win for you, and it's win for future generations.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's kind of right in your face. It's like, why didn't someone think about this before?
Absolutely. Many people have said that to us.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, it is, like I said, it is something that we're providing a service for, but it's all about providing a service for the community as well. You know.
So give us a basic, you pick up the garbage
Yes.
once a week. Give us a basic rundown of how you go about this.
Okay, well again, we provide a receptacle that goes into each person's home with an airtight and odor-tight lid. Our drivers turn around and we have a scheduled day with the particular towns and we go around and it is picked up. It is brought to local farms. It is composted out there. And from that point, we turn around and we grow produce. It takes about 1 to 2 months for that material to turn into what we call black gold, good compost. And then we grow the produce from the time that it is picked and brought to, we pick several different places within a town, whether it be food pantries, soup kitchens, community kitchens, shelters, depending on the town. We will bring that to them and it is given out to those in need. Many of those people have jobs, but maybe they're choosing between food and medication that week. So they're underemployed. There are more people that are underemployed than are unemployed right now. So what we do is we try to help make up some of the difference and really get the produce out to them. In the winter months when we're not growing, we also provide items with 10% of our gross profit, and we turn around and we give that to them by way of food pantries as well in other things that people need, whether it be diapers, formula, things that the pantries need. They basically give us a list and tell us what is a more popular item, what they need, what they're low on, that sort of thing. So in the winter months, that's what we do. But when growing season is in the process, we do fresh produce.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that people have a hard time getting hold of, let alone organic.
Oh yeah. Now the people that you bring the food to, do they pay for it?
No, it is 100% free of charge. That is something that we do. It's part of how we reach the community. So no, there's no fee for that. The only fee is for the service that we provide to the home.
This is unending. You could deal with all of the restaurants in all of the towns.
Yes, and the only things we do not compost is meat, fish, or dairy. And the only reason why we don't do that is because it creates more of a smell at the farms. So we try to do our best to make sure that that's not introduced.
Okay.
And then also what we try to do is in the springtime, for local gardeners that are with our service, is we offer them 2 free buckets full of the compost.
Correct.
So that they can use it for their garden. And if they don't garden, they can give it to a friend or donate it back to us and we'll give it to the farm that works with us.
So any homeowner, if they have a small garden, we provide the compost for them. That's free of charge. We do that. Anything they want beyond the 2 buckets, we do have a fee for. It's $11.95. That includes the bucket and stuff, but if they return that at pickup day, we credit them for that as well.
Wow.
So, a lot of people in apartment buildings and condos, they may not always have the need for that sort of thing, but some of them have house plants, they have small, tomato plants that they do on decks, that sort of thing. So they can use it for that. So it's up to them whether or not they donate it back to the farm or to someone else they know. It's still available for them.
Wow. I'm speechless. I'm truly speechless. It
It's win-win for everybody.
It's absolutely win-win.
It makes us feel good to be able to help those in need and to be able to help the earth.
Absolutely.
Plus, it helps us, you know, to keep it out of the, you know, out of the landfills and everything.
Absolutely.
So we look at it as win-win for everybody.
Sure. Because landfills are, many of them are closing down.
They are.
And
18 to 20% of what goes into a landfill is food.
really.
So we're doing our best to try to make sure that that is no longer introduced. I mean, a certain portion will definitely go in, but whatever impact that we can have on the environment to be a positive thing and not a negative thing is for the better of everyone.
It just, as I say, it just could go on exponentially. Now, how about the people wanting to volunteer their time at the garden, at the farms?
Well, that would be up to the individual farms themselves.
Right.
They have their own businesses, so that would be up to their discretion.
Sure, because there are a few places in town who are, I've just become involved with one of these places. They are wanting to start a garden that people in the neighborhood can work at.
Okay, community garden.
Community garden, which is another thing from the past.
Right.
So, you know, it's going in the right direction. It's
one of my goals down the road is to actually have a piece of land that we can turn around and do the composting on. Whether or not we'd grow the vegetables ourselves, I'm not really quite sure on that yet. But
well, I'm so glad you're not sure of everything.
It's been an evolution. It's been an evolution, definitely, on you know, from beginning to end. But again, we only started in May of 2012, so
amazing.
We've come an awfully long way, and I'm sure it will evolve more.
Sure, and starting in May, it wasn't really even the beginning of the growing season because our growing season was so early this year.
Right.
So,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the receptacles are so very easy to use. I mean, I keep mine in the corner of my kitchen and just put my foot on it and just spin it with one hand.
Right.
And people don't realize you peel potatoes or carrots, you can peel it right over it. Coffee grounds, eggshells. It's amazing. My granddaughter comes, and if she doesn't finish her peanut butter and jelly sandwich, she'll say to me, "Gigi, open." And it's like 4 years old to be able to teach these kids now that this is what we need to do.
Excellent.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Not only teach, you know, people our age, but this younger generation that's coming up on how important it is.
Yes.
And the receptacles themselves, although very simple, the lids themselves are pretty high tech, and I've taken an awful lot of time and research into not only thinking about them being airtight and odor resistant, but also about people that have arthritis. I have arthritis in both my hands. They are very simple to use.
That's why I say very.
And you know, if you just had one hand, even, it's very simple. They just unscrew and put what you want in it, screw it right back on. You don't have to put it on tight. It's just very, very simple.
Patricia, you amaze me. You have gone above and beyond with all of this. It's I've said before, I'm speechless. There's a great deal that you're doing that we should have been doing long before this.
Well, I'm certainly glad that we're starting it now here, you know, on the South Shore. I know there are many other communities, not only in Massachusetts, but across the country that are doing very similar things.
Really?
You know, yeah, I'm sure there are. There must be, and if not, then,
well,
you know, we're going to do our best to try to bring it forth and, you know, encourage people to be doing the same thing.
Fantastic, fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And it's so good to have a good friend close by.
Absolutely, absolutely. She's been great, and you know, like I said, I'm very, very careful about who I'm picking for the company.
Sure.
Really, my heart for this is pretty evident, and those that know me understand that I'm really all about community.
Wonderful.
We're, you know, our main comment lately on the name, Positive Effects LLC.
Excellent.
For us, the LLC stands for Light, Love, and Compassion. I know it's Limited Liability Corporation, but it's for us. For
your rendition.
For us, it is about light, love, and compassion.
Again, it's what? Light?
Light, love, and compassion.
And see, we we laugh because I always say love, light, and compassion. It's like it doesn't matter which one comes first. It's all together.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
We know it's limited liability corporation. We all get that. But you know what? It's about us having a heart for the community, and that's really the way we see it at this point.
But the other part of that too is you ask 10 people what LLC means, and you're going to get
Right. Right.
You know, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's about being able to make sure people understand it's not just a company, it's about our heart for the community.
Yes.
You know?
Well, your heart for the community is certainly evident, Patricia, and also your wonderful friend. And why do I keep forgetting your name, Cheryl? I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
No.
It's okay
But
because it's to me, it's not about me. It's about the community and what I can do.
Absolutely.
I love going to work. And it's kind of like I can work all day, and all of a sudden I'll go, I gotta get going. Do you know what time it is? But it's just one of those jobs that you just love.
That's
so it's kind of like, and
I suppose I should ask you what you did before this.
Actually, I didn't do a whole lot. Back in January, I had a stroke, and so I'm very fortunate that I'm here.
Wow.
And so I looked at when she asked me, I said, you know, I knew there was something else I was supposed to do, but I hadn't put my finger on it, so I also thank her from the bottom of my heart that she has allowed me to come in to be able to finally do what I was meant to do.
That's wonderful.
So,
and you, Patricia, what did you do before this?
I've been 25 years working other people's businesses. I was an accountant and bookkeeper for many, many years. And again, like a lot of other people, I got tired of the cycle. You go into a place that you're usually very happy in being in, but you get to a point where you've done everything you can for the company, and then in this economy, again, a place, you know, there's a downturn.
Yes.
And you're either laid off, and in my case I was, 2009, laid off. And yes, I've worked other jobs since then, but at the same time, very, very difficult to make the same money that you did before.
Right.
And I'm not making the same money I did before. I don't want to make the same money I did before. You know, I made really good money. Okay, that's great. But now I'm turning around and putting it back into something that is for the community.
And I would like to say that I think you were meant to do this.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. I know
about
that for a fact, actually.
One door closes.
Yes. Another one opens,
you both look like you're having fun, and may
we
it
are.
continue.
It's kind of like, how can you not?
Yes.
When you realize what you're all doing for people.
Very
and like I said, the connections that we've made, that now we have local gardeners that say, you know, I have too much, you know, too many tomatoes, too many potatoes. What can I do with them?
Right.
Excellent.
So they have our web address to where they can turn around and email us.
Yeah.
And we'll help
and
them.
of course, the old saying, everybody's got to eat.
How true that is.
Yeah,
How
one guy
true
called
it
us
is.
a little while ago and said, you know, or actually he emailed me and said, I have this humongous amount of potatoes, what do I do with them? Okay.
Wow.
You know, we'll make sure we hook you up with the right people to take care of it.
Wow.
So, you know, it's about getting stuff out to people that need it.
Well, I'm so happy to meet you both. I'm so pleased that you could come on Seniority here in Sandwich and talk to us about what you're doing, and I wish you well
Thank you.
in what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
It's just like, couldn't do anything any different. This is a wonderful opportunity for those people out there to be part of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us here, and really it's about reaching the community, so we're hoping that people understand that this is about signing up for a program that's not just a program within their home, but it's about working with the community and about giving to those that are in need.
It's evident. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all out there for watching Sandwich Seniority. We hope to see you again real soon.
Thank you.